Coming up tonight on CTV, a look at a new way to measure local air pollution. Then, a breakdown of the proposed gun ban. But first, an apology from a RamRide volunteer who drove one of their vehicles impaired. All that and more next on CTV.
Good evening and welcome to CTV on this Wednesday, February 6th. I'm Wayne Stafford.
And I'm Mackenzie O'Keefe.
We have CTV reporter Tom Mullen in the Information Center with tonight's top story. Tom?
According to its website, RamRide provides a safe, non-judgmental ride home for CSU students with the goal of improving the safety of the community. Last Friday morning, one volunteer was charged with being under the influence of marijuana while driving a RamRide vehicle. Let's take a look.
Early Friday morning, Colorado State Police pulled over and arrested a RamRide volunteer on multiple charges. CTV spoke with ASCSU President Regina Martell for more information.
There was a driver who was pulled over during nightly operations and from there was arrested. And since then, it has given RamRide a great opportunity to try and fix anything that was wrong and really take a hard look at our policies and procedures that we have in place.
That driver was freshman Carl Laborde, who had been smoking marijuana that night. Police pulled over Laborde on College Avenue for speeding.
If anybody on College, and if everybody knows Fort Collins area, College is a 30-mile-an-hour street. I believed myself to be doing 35, but that's still over the speed limit. He pulled me over, so I was doing 39. Then he looked at us and said that he smelled marijuana in the car.
Laborde was charged with speeding, driving under the influence of drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of marijuana. ASCSU see this incident as an opportunity to fix whatever went wrong and to avoid problems like this in the future.
We have just been trying to figure out what went wrong on our end, if anything, and how we can mitigate it in the future. Really, our main focus has been RamRide and how we can make sure that this doesn't happen again.
After being released, Laborde claims to have gotten rid of his marijuana paraphernalia and apologizes for his action. I
am extremely sorry. I made a mistake. I had a habit that I thought that I was in control of. Obviously, it was stupid, very stupid of me to decide to smoke while I was doing RamRide. No matter what I say, physically, biologically, I was impaired.
I have in my hand here the RamRide volunteer contract. According to ASCSU, students who sign this are expected to follow the school's code of conduct and overall be a safe driver or navigator. ASCSU is currently reviewing its policies and procedures to see where improvements can be made, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Back to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Tom. The U.S. Postal Service announced on Wednesday that they will stop delivering mail on Saturdays, but will continue to deliver packages 6 days a week. This plan is aimed at saving more than $2 billion annually and would begin in August. The agency says that package delivery has increased by 14% since 2010, and the delivery of letters has decreased since the increasing use of email and other internet services. CEO Patrick R. Donahoe and Postmaster General released a statement saying, "The Postal Service is advancing an important new approach to the delivery that reflects the strong growth of our package business and responds to the financial realities resulting from America's changing mailing habits."
In wake of the horrific mass shootings seen in recent months, President Obama is proposing the most restrictive gun legislation in 25 years. Many people, including county sheriffs and political leaders, are against the ban, believing it imposes on their Second Amendment rights, while others strongly believe that something needs to change to America's gun regulations, sparking the largest gun debate in decades.
Here at Rocky Mountain Shooter Supply, many Fort Collins residents who love to take their rifles and hit the ranges, they soon have their favorite pastime cut short. Obama's 23 executive actions break down to 4 main points: making every firearm sale go through federal background checks, banning assault weapons, which includes a laundry list of automatic firearms and single-shot rifles, having armed guards at all public schools, and increase access to public health services.
With the Obama gun ban, guns like these won't be available to the public.
Any issue worth debating always has at least 2 sides to it, so I asked students what they have to say about it.
I think it's a really complicated issue.
The way that I look at things is with the assault rifles and the high magazine guns, The only place that you really need those is a shooting range.
If there was to be a ban on assault rifles, I think I may support that.
Currently, there are 127 sheriffs across the country openly not in favor of the ban and opposed to enforcing it. I sat down with the sheriff of Weld County to get his take on the issue.
The answer is not more gun control. It's about mental health. We need to keep the guns out of the people's hands that shouldn't have them, and that's the mentally ill. If you look at these people that are doing these mass murders, they're mentally ill. It's not the gun's fault.
Criticized heavily in the public right now is one of the guns that's wanting to be banned, mainly due to its stature of color and a military type of weapon.
Sometimes I'll get, why would somebody want this? Why would they need that? The fact is, it might not be a need, it's simply a want. For instance, you can go down to the Chevrolet dealership and buy a Corvette with 500 and some horsepower engine that'll travel 160 miles an hour. Speed limit 75, but people like it and they want to own one. Okay, just don't misuse it. And I think the same rules kind of apply to the firearms.
As President Obama continues to try to push his gun legislation through the halls of Congress, Senate Democrats are reportedly working on a gun control bill that will include all of his policy proposals except the assault gun ban. CTV will have updates as the story develops. Coming up on CTV,
Ashley Wallinger is here with your weekly weather update.
And then a look at a mini sampler aimed at measuring local air pollution developed by a CSU professor.
Shelters are the best places to find a new pet.
You little rascal.
That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals.
Oh, ladies first.
Eager to become a part of your family. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Those gray skies and colder air out there today can mean only one thing. A cold front is moving into our area. A weak front will be hitting northeastern Colorado tonight, but most of the snowfall will be hitting the mountains. We may see some scattered showers throughout the night, but it will be mostly clear and cloudy overnight here. We can see the effects of the front moving into our area by taking a look at the highs across the state today. It's 38 in Lyman, 56 in Denver, and 54 here in Fort Collins. Our real chance for snow comes this weekend. Our highs stay near the 50s through Friday, but another front moves in Saturday night, which is when we'll see the most snow. The temps will drop significantly, with highs only in the 30s and lows just in the teens. The cooler weather will be sticking through the rest of next week. Monday will be much colder than average, only around 30. It dries out through the middle part of the week, and the sun should clear out most of the weekend snow. Watch Channel 11 every Wednesday night at 8 for your updated weekly forecast. For CTV Weather, I'm Ashley Wallinger. Stay warm out there, Rams. Now back to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Ashley. After Fort Collins spent last summer in smoke due to the High Park fire, a CSU professor came up with a new way to measure air pollution. CTV reporter Katie Huss has the story.
Beijing, China, Los Angeles, California, some of the world's most polluted cities. After a summer wrought with flames, Fort Collins joined these smoky heavyweights. CSU Associate Professor John Volkins and his research partner Chuck Henry happened to have the right idea at just the right time.
Unfortunately for the community, but fortunately for us, the High Park fire provided a really great opportunity to measure air pollution in Fort Collins. We put a tiny little device on your shoulder that breathes the same air you're breathing over about a 24-hour period. After 24 hours, then we take a small piece of the filter inside that sampler and we analyze it with this new technology we've developed in our lab.
Average pollution levels in Colorado typically rest between 5 and 10 micrograms per cubic meter, about 5 units less than the national average.
We saw levels in the city in excess of 300 micrograms per cubic meter, or 10 times the standard. This little paper-based device costs less than a nickel to make, and that makes analyzing for the air pollution very inexpensive and very efficient.
While pollution levels in Fort Collins have nearly returned to normal, Vulcan says it's still important for people to be aware of what they're taking in.
We want to raise awareness about air pollution. We want to educate people about how to understand air pollution and where it comes from. And we believe this technology can empower them to do that.
The samplers will cost less than a nickel to make in hopes of measuring the local air pollution in an inexpensive way. Up next, find out which Rockies player was charged with a DUI Wednesday morning.
Then an international update from CTV reporter Katie Spencer. Stay tuned for a quick tour of her new home in Sorrento, Italy. And later we'll take an inside look at the latest comedy put on by the CSU Theater program.
Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
The big guy comes up with that, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
If you are a Rockies fan, you may want to turn away from the television for just a second. First baseman Todd Helton, the Rockies' longest tenured player and one of the most loved Rockies on the team, was arrested in Thornton for a DUI this morning. Helton was seen swerving in his truck. Cops caught up to him at a gas station and then made the arrest there. Helton was released from jail this morning, but it is very disappointing news considering most fans probably consider him their favorite player on the team. Hopefully all this will be sorted out come April. Let's move on to CSU football. Today was signing day, the day where all the high school athletes commit to the colleges they'll be going to. The Rams were busy today, and they signed 24 new recruits, 5 from Colorado, 6 from California, and 3 from Texas, just to name some. Coach Mack said this afternoon that the team addressed a lot of needs, especially at wide receiver. He wasn't kidding. The Rams signed 4 wide receivers today, and none of them were shorter than 6 feet 2 inches. So let's take a look at a few signees that you should be excited about next year. We'll start with the position Coach Mack talked about, and that is receiver. Let's take a look at 2 of them. First up, Elroy Masters, the 3-star recruit out of Arizona. He's 6'2", 208 pounds, and Broncos fans may liken his ability to Demaryius Thomas. Very fast and very physical. Williams averaged nearly 26 yards per catch his senior season and scored 14 touchdowns. Let's move on to a speed receiver, Rashard Higgins out of Mesquite, Texas. Higgins caught 69 balls for 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns as a senior. And as you can see by some of these highlights, he has some breakaway speed as well, something the Rams receivers desperately need. And we'll move on to Trey Moxley, a tight end from Carbondale, Colorado. He's a 3-star recruit, 6'5", and 270 pounds. Yes, 270 pounds for a tight end, but you can see from these highlights, pretty athletic as well. Hopefully he can fill in Austin Gilmore's shoes next year. And we'll end with Capri Bibbs. Bibbs has been attending Front Range this year, but in 2011, while playing for Plainfield North High School in Plainfield, Illinois, Bibbs earned Chicago Offensive Player of the Year. Get ready for these stats. As a senior, Bibbs rushed for 2,654 yards, nearly averaging 9 yards a carry, and 38 touchdowns. He made national headlines in 2010 when he rushed for 520 yards and 7 touchdowns in 1 game. Certainly the Rams need his offensive explosiveness. All right, tonight we're going to end with one of the wildest shots you will see in all of basketball this season. It came from right here in Colorado. That's right, the Nuggets were trying to close out last night's game against the Bucks. They were up 4 with a minute left. The Nuggets are going to get this turnover, get the ball to Danilo Gallinari, where he becomes, well, a magician, really. He throws the ball up over his head, and somehow it just rattles around the rim and bounces in. A mesmerizing shot, especially in slow motion here. Nuggets went on to win that game. And speaking of basketball, the Rams men's basketball team is just minutes away from getting underway in Reno, Nevada against the Wolfpack.
All right, well, thanks, Ryan. Our very own Katie Spencer is studying in Italy this semester. In the first installment of a new segment called Study Abroad with Katie Spencer, Katie gives us a tour of Sorrento and tells us a little bit about her new home away from home.
Ciao and welcome to Sorrento. Sorrento is known for their citrus trees, which grow oranges, and of course their famous lemons, which can grow up to the size of grapefruits. Sorrento is located along the southwestern coast of Italy, just south of Naples. It is located within the Bay of Naples and includes beautiful views of Capri and Mount Vesuvius. The town dates back over 2,000 years and some of the ancient architecture still stands. Many ancient traditions still exist in Sorrento, including a high religious presence and food markets offering fresh fruit and vegetables. Two of the biggest business ventures in Sorrento are inlaid woodwork and limoncello, which is an after-dinner liqueur made of Sorrento's famous lemons. Also available to tickle your taste buds is pizza, homemade pasta, and delicious pastries. Life in Sorrento revolves around two places: Piazza Tasso, which is the town's main square, and the coast, which still has a large fishing industry. Sorrento is a beautiful place to live and a great place to visit. Reporting from Sorrento, Italy, this is Katie Spencer, CTV News.
Join us next week to see what else Katie's been up to as she continues her European adventures with us.
This weekend is your last chance to get a fill of comedy, romance, and sci-fi, all brought to you by the CSU Theater Program. 250 tickets were sold during the weekend opening of Comedy Potential. This futuristic play explores the possibilities of humans falling in love with actor robots, called Actoids. This play is staged in a theater in the round style, the first ever at CSU where the audience surrounds the entire stage. Director Eric Prince explained the challenges and advantages this has posed for the play in its entirety.
Used to working so close to an audience. If you think about it, nobody in the audience is more than 3 rows away from the actor. You can reach out and touch them if you're on the front row.
Up next, CTV reporter Christian Zamora is here with the latest Ram Entertainment news.
Don't go away.
Places.
Uptown.
But when we live united, we create real lasting change in the education, income, and health of our country. Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Welcome to the first ever Ram Entertainment segment, your weekly entertainment segment named after our noble mascot, the Ram. My name is Christian Zamora, and I'll be here to get you through every hump day during the school year. Here are tonight's top entertainment stories. We have great news for those Britney Spears fans out there. The Toxic Singer is packing up her bags, children, and lip syncing in order to make the move to Sin City. That's right, folks. Named the Holy Spirit by fans, Spears will start performing every week at a yet-to-be-revealed Vegas casino. Rumors of Spears' Vegas gig went rampant after her puppy Hannah tweeted, "Mommy, our dog's allowed to gamble in Vegas. Gonna cash all my bones in for chips." Extra TV then confirmed these rumors as fact after speaking directly with Spears' manager, Larry Rudolph, who then went on to say he'd be shocked if it didn't happen. What Spears' performance will look like on stage is uncertain, but one thing is for sure, Hannah Spears is the most influential canine since the Taco Bell Chihuahua. Sunday marked the 47th Super Bowl, and the only day of the year where gay men tune in to watch an objectified woman perform, and straight men tune into the same program to watch a bunch of men in tight clothing play with balls. Roughly 108 million viewers tuned in to watch Ravens beat the San Francisco 49ers. But let's face it, most people tuned in to watch Beyonce slay the halftime stage and reunite her early 2000s girl band Destiny's Child. During the halftime performance, Beyonce and bandmate Kelly Rowland hit every pop, lock, and drop on point, while the third member of the group, Michelle Williams, was doing a terrible impression of the choreography her bandmates were doing. It's okay, Michelle. People won't remember who you are once again by the end of the week. That's all the totally relevant in your life celebrity news we have time for today. Until another Celebrities Dog Tweets, I'm Christian Zamora for Ram Entertainment. Ramen for short.
Thanks, Christian. That's all the time we have for you tonight.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CTV11 or check out our website at ctv11.com.
Have a great night.